Goeienaand, good evening fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And this is a story that has got to be told. It's a bittersweet story. It's a story about DStv. And you know what? Since Steve Hofmeyr destroyed his DStv by driving over it, and I'll attach that video footage at the end of this intro, so you're not going to miss it. It only happened a couple of weeks ago. But guess what's happened? Guess what's happened? I'm so excited. You know why Steve Hofmeyr destroyed his DStv? For those who don't know, they don't know the story. DStv, which is multi-choice, they banned him from any kind of coverage on their extensive pay TV network in South Africa, where they have millions of clients. And of course, there was a huge outrage from the general Afrikaner community. I must say, not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's unsurprisingly with BEE and triple BEE, and I'm not going to go into what they are, by now I think everybody knows. The CEO is a black fellow who was responsible for the banning of Steve Hofmeyr. Wow. What a bad move by Calvo Marvella, who's only been the CEO for about 6 months now, I suppose. But the outcome of his banning, here's the headline. People are saying, how many people have got rid of DStv since Steve Hofmeyr, destroyed his dish and destroyed his little decoder? Well, we now have the answer. DStv have lost over 100,000 premium subscribers and is blaming, now, this is a good part. This is where the porky pies come out, okay? And is now blaming unregulated streaming services. Now, as you will hear in the video attached, you'll see Steve Hofmeyr saying to DStv, I'm shutting down my account or my subscription because you've banned Steve Hofmeyr. And tens of thousands of people in South Africa have done exactly the same thing. But no, it's unregulated streaming services on the internet. Streaming services like YouTube, Netflix. Oh my gosh, what a wise move they've made. But of course it had nothing to do with Steve Hofmeyr, did it? No, nothing to do with Steve Hofmeyr. Well, they're going to continue to bleed tens of thousands of accounts until they wake up, and then it's going to be too late because people would have become very happy with the internet and what they can get there, and they've lost a huge percentage of their market. Isn't that a wonderful irony? You know? Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Let me read you the story. DStv is an expensive luxury if you're a sporting fan who wants access to everything. You don't really have any legal alternative. You see in brackets the word legal. What about Netflix? That's an alternative. But of course, this is your kind of fake news that you get. But for those who don't care about sport, there are alternatives, and DStv isn't happy about it. Oh, cry babies. Oh, shed a tear for you. Oh. Go and hang on. Where? Mr. CEO, Pog Mahon. Yeah, Pog Mahon. According to a report in the Saturday Star, MultiChoice, which operates DStv, claims it has lost more than 100,000 DStv premium subscribers in its last financial year because of unregulated competition from streaming services like Netflix. This argument was put forward to the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, or ICASA, panel on the final day of the communication regulator's public hearing on Friday. And you know when they lost all 100,000 of their subscribers? In the last couple of weeks. But you won't hear that from them, will you? ICASA's public hearings held on Monday were an inquiry into subscription TV broadcasting services. ICASA wants to wriggle some of the market dominance away from multi-choice. Well. But bloody time, quite honestly. But the South African company isn't happy. Crybabies. Claiming some of the international streaming services offered in the country does not pay tax here, amongst a list of other complaints. They said, "We understand that OTTs have come into the market and they have had serious growth and their revenue figures have substantiated that," said Namonde Gongxixi Siopa of an ICASA panel member. "What we are missing, though, is how this had an impact on the pay TV market, which you haven't provided us with. You provided us with graphs of how OTTs have affected pay TV stations in countries like the UK and the US, but we need research within the South African market to convince us that these OTTs are actually competing with pay TV." Now, you see how this multi-choice mob have shifted the blame from what they did to Steve Hofmeyr to Netflix. Isn't that cute? Isn't that friggin' cute? You just have to go onto YouTube and look up DStv and you see dozens, hundreds of videos of people individually destroying their DStv dishes and decoders in all different sorts of ways. Have you a lot of fun? ICASA hit back, saying multi-choice must provide empirical evidence that there is a direct link to the drop in revenue. Now, of course, because you've got this fellow, what is his forgettable name? You got this Calvo Marvella, who now running multi-choice. You can forget that. He wouldn't know how to start doing something like that, would he? If it had been the old CEO, who was De Villiers, I think it was, you would have had no problems getting that information. But then he would never have banned Steve Hofmeyr, would he? And there lies the rub. So fascinating. Anyway, ICASA continued by saying, "We need to see that there is a direct link between the presence of OTT and your revenue and your subscriber base in such a way they are really significantly impacting on the competition dynamics specifically for the SA market." Well, I've got a better idea for ICASA. Why don't they get the records of why people closed down their DStv pay TV accounts? Because every single person I've heard who was closing their account was asked, why are you closing your subscription? So they will have a record against every single closure as to why people were closing. And I think you'd find probably about 90% of them would have said because he banned Steve Hofmeyr. Now, isn't that empirical evidence that this guy is talking crap? I think so. Anyway, let's see what happens. Oh, and of course, here comes the sting in the tail. Poor multi-choice. Poor multi-choice. Multi-choice also says that the infiltration of streaming services could lead to job losses in the South African market. What a shame. And I have to thank Michelle for bringing this little story to my attention. I am over the moon. In fact, guys, do you see my hat? This is my Irish drinking hat. Okay, and I know it's very early in the morning. Don't worry, I'm not going to start now. But I think it's time we popped a champagne. Don't you? You see, I've got a little beers and all sorts of stuff with this Irish drinking hat. I think it's time we popped a bottle of champagne to celebrate DSTV's loss and Steve Hofmeyr making a huge point. And again, I'm reaching out to Steve to say, hey, buddy, I would love to have you on a live stream so we can talk about this whole shenanigan by this multi-choice DStv mob. All right, give me a second while I go and get a bottle. Move aside, bonsai. I found something else to put my hands on. It's called Yellow. It's a lovely Australian champagne. And we're going to crack this open to celebrate the success of Steve Hofmeyr's single-handed campaign to bring DStv to its knees. And I have one message for DStv while I pop this cork. Isn't that a beautiful sound? Does smell good, but it's a bit early in the morning. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll put that back on ice. But I have a message for DStv, and that this is only the start, guys. And I think that CEO might just be losing his job soon, because I don't think the multi-choice owners overseas will be very happy with his performance. And he's only been there 6 months. All right, guys, here comes the Steve Hofmeyr video. Please have a wonderful evening, and feel free to make this video go viral. Send it to all your friends, to all your social media. Let the world know that DStv is on its knees. And Steve Hofmeyr is winning the battle. Cheers, guys. Take care. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to be kept informed, and ring the bell so you get the updates. Have a great evening. I'm going to later on.
I'd like to cancel my DStv contract and decoders, please. Yes, multi-choice is racist. They are state captured. They're friends with the Guptas, and they just boycotted an artist, Steve Hofmeyr. Simple. Hallelujah. Thank you very much.
Middag mense, vandag gaan ek vir julle wys hoe om ordentlik te braai. 'n Genuine Suid-Afrikaanse braai. Nou ja, it's 'n heerlike dag om te braai. Daar's 'n lekker vuurtjie aan die gang. Al binne het ek rugby op livestream. Dis nou halftyd, so ons het nie baie tyd om alles te cover nie. Julle almal weet van vuur maak, elke ou se eie keuse. Party gebruik hout, ander gebruik charcoal. Party gebruik blits om hulle vuur aan die gang te kry, ander gebruik sommer koerantpapier. Daai is jou saak. Vandag gaan ek net vir julle wys hoe om ordentlik te braai. Nou ja, al wat julle nodig het, een van hierdie, lekker braai, lekker warm vuur, en een van die ouetjies. Nou jy sal sien, hier is 'n genuine multi-choice DStv decoder, met sy kaart. Al wat ons gaan doen, manne, en vir die vroue wat braai, ons gaan die ouetjie net so neersit. Dis al. Jy het nie nodig om hom te draai nie, jy sit vir hom neer, daar gaat hy. Jy kan teruggaan na jou livestream toe, jy kan jou rugby gaan klaar kyk, terwyl hy braai, nie nodig om hom te spice nie. Vir die manne wat hom wil spice, jy kan altyd 'n MTN Simfoon kaartjie kan jy op hom neersit, of op die Jota badge. Dan sien ons nou lekker gespice. Nou ja, hier gaat hy manne, ons gaan nou vir hom braai. Los hom net so, gaan kyk jou rugby, drink 'n bier, drink 'n brandewyn, wat ook al jy wil. Kom terug, en hy behoort gaar te wees. Nou vir almal julle daar buite, ek wil julle challenge vandag. Kyk wie van julle manne kan 'n beter braai hou as ek. Daar's vir julle ouens wat nou 'n Lani braai wil hou, julle kan 'n PVR opsit, of sommer net 'n gewone braai soos ek. Maar doen dit, wys my julle kan beter.